Okay, class, welcome to Legal and Ethical Practices for School Counselors. This is CED 614. So, my name is Javier Valdez, and I will be your instructor for this month. Our class started yesterday, and it will run through the month of June. So, what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to provide an introduction of who I am and a little bit about my background, and then we're going to go over the course syllabus, and any questions that you may have, you may go ahead and email me directly after this session. So this will be uploaded onto YouTube and emailed to you shortly today. So a little bit about who I am. My name is Javier Valdez, and I have been at National University now for about 5 years. I have, I want to say, 12 years now in counseling. I was a high school counselor for 10 years and made that transition over to the community college counseling realm now, which I'm going on my 3rd year. And so I absolutely love my new position at the community college. Both very rewarding and satisfying, and a new adventure for me. So I have both K through 12 and community college counseling experience. So that's a little bit about who I am. I do look forward to hearing from you and having you introduce yourselves in the discussion board for week 1. So I do look forward to seeing that. And some of you may have already had me before, so if you have, you could disregard the intro and skip over to the course syllabus, which is what we're going to go over. What you see on your screen is my contact information. You want to know that the best method to contact me is via email. I check my email a lot during the day, so if you email me and I haven't replied within 24 to 48 hours, you could go ahead and text me. Use my cell phone number as your last resort, though. You should always use the email first as a way of communicating with me. If I don't answer within 48 hours, then you want to send me a text message to remind me that you have emailed me a question or a concern about an assignment, your grades, or whatever other concerns you may have or questions. So I'm not going to go over the course description. This is something that you could go on your own and read, but I will go over the book. The book is by Stone, School Counseling Principles, Ethics and Law. I believe there's a 4th edition, so I have here on the syllabus 3rd edition, but you could purchase the 4th edition as well, and that should be okay for the class. So go ahead and make sure you have your textbooks, because you will be using the textbook in class. And so now I'm going to go ahead and skip over the course goals and objectives, and I'm going to go straight into what you all want to know. And so our sessions for this class will be pre-recorded. I will try to upload our recordings by Monday morning and email you the link so you could access the recording for that week. My method and approach is not to go over lecture or material that's already on the course shell. That is for you to review and kind of digest on your own. What I want to do, and what I do with my classes, is I go over the week's content and provide any points of clarification that students may have, or that I will foresee students will have for the assignments for the week. So these are recorded, and you could view these at your leisure, so there's no points attached to attendance or participation. You will, if you want to use or view the video that I record, that's up to you. But if you don't, then you don't have to. But I do recommend that you view it if you do have a question, because there might be an answer to your question within the video. So I first want to go over let's go down here. Let's go to the assignments. Okay. And so these are the course assignments. and I'm going to let you know when they're due and go over them in somewhat detail after I go over this section here. So you as a student will be required to submit an ethical paper. And so the ethical paper is worth 15 points. And so we're going to go over that. You will also have to submit a case analysis project, and that will be worth 23 points. Your final exam will be an open untimed essay where you will be analyzing 2 cases and responding to the cases. So it will not be timed, and it will be open book, obviously, and open notes, and that will be also discussed in detail. You will have discussion threads for a total of 32 points. And you will have to submit your fieldwork experience reflection essay along with your practicum logs. So you will be required to do some observation hours for this class. And some of you should already be familiar with that as well. So the first assignment is an ethical paper. I'm sorry, it's not a presentation. It's an ethical paper, not presentation. So let me go ahead and correct that. That's already a correction here. So you are to write a 4 to 6 page paper on the legal and ethical issues related to a school-related topic. So some suggestions are below. And so you want to apply or select a legal or ethical issue that would be, applicable to you in your future. So if you're thinking of K through 12 or higher education, you want to select a topic that's relevant to what you want to pursue as a career in the future. So here you want to cite at least 5 sources, and you want to have your citations be in APA format. You want to present your research on the issue and describe any ethical conflicts centered on the issue. So here you want to identify the guidance reference from either ASCA or the ACA, ethical standards, and describe how you will resolve the conflict and why. So I highly recommend, and I do want you to use the book's 9-step model for your approach to this case or ethical dilemma. So make sure you review that in chapter 1. And if there's anything that you want to not skim over, it should be that section. Don't skim over the 9-step model, because I do want to see that integrated into this paper. And so these are suggested topics. Counseling people with disability, you have a suicidal student, multiple dual relationships, counselor self-disclosure, confidentiality. So go ahead and pick one. You don't have to pick multiple, just focus on one and write a 4 to 6 page paper on this. And so your ethical paper will be due week 2 by Sunday midnight, okay? And so make sure you're submitting your assignments in a timely manner so I could go ahead and grade them. The sooner you submit your assignments, the faster I could grade and provide feedback to you. So those of us that want to get a head start and like to submit things, early, go ahead and do so, and I will grade your assignments earlier so you can know what you've earned. So that's that with the ethical paper. The case study presentation. Here you will complete and present a case analysis on a legal dilemma surrounding education. So this dilemma, what needs to be different from the ethical assignment just explained in section 1. So if you're doing confidentiality for your paper, make sure you don't use the same dilemma to do your case analysis presentation. So make sure they're different. So here, the student will create a PowerPoint presentation, okay? 7 to 10 slides, and this will be presented to me via YouTube. So the expectation here is that you will record yourself. You could use your phone, you could use, a camcorder if you have one, you could use your webcam. However you want to do it, the easiest way is to use your phone and just upload your video to YouTube. Make sure it's public, not private, so I could view it and see your presentation. So the presentation should be no longer than 10 minutes, so please don't go over that. And you will upload your PowerPoint and YouTube link to the course. So this will be due week 3 by midnight, and there is a link to submit your case analysis presentation. So you will be submitting your PowerPoint and also the link to your YouTube video. Okay? And I provided a guide, and I recommend that you use this guide to develop your presentation. So each student will present their case using the format below. So again, you will be recording yourselves, and I recommend that you use this format to structure your PowerPoint. So I have a description of the situation. So provide a brief overview of your ethical or legal dilemma. 2 or B, make sure you are also identifying the problem. So let me know what the problem is or the issues surrounding the ethical or legal dilemma here. So you want to discuss anything that may occur, any morals of autonomy, any morals of justice or fidelity. So if you are, selecting a topic such as abortion, there's a lot of, moral values, a lot of cultural concerns there with that dilemma. So make sure that you are discussing those in this section. Section C, personal values or morals, evaluate the rights, responsibility, and welfare of all those affected by the situation. So here you want to look into not only the student, but also their family, significant others, the school, the counselor. So make sure that you are also evaluating those stakeholders as well. And so you want to then generate potential courses of action and their consequences. So describe the limitations associated with each. So what's your course of action? So you know the ethical dilemma, how are you going to respond as a counselor? I highly recommend that you integrate the Stone's 9-step process of decision making when dealing with ethical or legal dilemmas for this section. And this could be 2 to 1 slide, 2 to 1 slides here if you want to. But again, make sure you're incorporating Stone's 9-step process for decision making in regards to ethical and legal issues. So, okay. And the last section here, recommended course of action. So state your recommendations. What are you going to do? So how are your recommendations in the best interest of the students, and how do they satisfy the legal or ethical dilemma? So as a counselor, you will have to make decisions. So what is going to be the decision you will be making based on your ethical dilemma? Okay. And so this again will be due week 3 by Sunday midnight. I highly recommend that you don't wait last minute to record yourself, because there will be technical issues. And when I've taught this class before, students have run across issues with uploading onto YouTube. I highly recommend that you do maybe like a quick 1-minute trial run, see if you could upload onto YouTube, and if there's any issues, make sure that you're communicating those issues to me to see if we could troubleshoot those technical issues before you actually do your recording. Again, no more than 10 minutes. The longer you do your recording, the more issues or technical issues you come across with space and uploading in a timely manner, because I know that uploading onto YouTube could be a little time consuming when your video is a little longer than 10 minutes. So that's your case study presentation. Now your final exam, again, as mentioned, will be an essay format. You will be presented with 2 cases. Well, actually, you will be given a series of cases where you have to select 2 cases to write about. Your online exam will be submitted and through the link in week 4, due Sunday by midnight, week 4, and it's not a timed exam. The directions will say that you have 2 hours, but that's not accurate. You will have unlimited time to submit your responses to the link provided. So the final exam is not timed. It is an essay format, and the scenarios actually are already posted under week 4. So make sure that if you want to get a head start on it, you're more than welcome to. I'm okay with that. I'm very flexible. You don't have to wait till week 4 to get started on your final exam. You could get started on it, as soon as you're available to do that. So that is your final exam, 2 case studies that you will analyze and submit online via an essay format. And then lastly, you will have your fieldwork experience and reflection. You are to do 8 to 10 hours. Submit your practicum logs along with your 2-page reflection on your practicum. Okay? And we will have discussion boards. With the exception of week 1, each week has 2 discussion boards. So make sure that you're doing those. Again, those will be due by Sunday midnight. And you are to respond to 2 classmates. Okay, so respond to 2 classmates and make sure that you're doing that and having all that submitted by Sunday midnight each week. Okay, and that's pretty much how the course is gonna be operating and running. Very simple, very straightforward. What I'm gonna go ahead and do now, I'm gonna go ahead and go over the structure of the course. It's structured by weeks. So as you can see, there's week 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to go ahead and click on week 1. And for week 1, we have our week 1 learning outcomes. So make sure you look at that. And then this is our book. So make sure you're reading chapters 1, 2, and 14 and looking at the ethical standards. Okay, so make sure you look at that PDF. And then this is the content for week 1. So we have it in Word document and also in presentation format. So whatever format you like to view, make sure you're viewing the lecture and course content there. Now, each week we will have a learning activity. These are not graded. These are just for you to help you understand and analyze different situations that you may come across as a counselor. So it's up to you whether you want to look at these and analyze them, but for you, these are not required. You don't have to do them. I would recommend that you at least look at them and look at how you would go about, resolving the situation, because these situations will come up as you are actually performing your job as a counselor when you're hired and you're done with the program. So highly recommend that you just look at them, but also look at the scenarios and kind of picture how you would analyze that as a counselor. We do have the discussion board for week 1, and for week 1, again, discussion boards are due by midnight, and I have that stated here. So make sure you're looking at your week by week course assignments, discussion boards, and content. And so make sure you submit this by midnight. And that's it. So that's it for week 1. We just have your discussion board. So I highly recommend that for week 1, though we don't have much due, you start getting yourself, your hours for your practicum, and also start looking at the assignments for week 2 and 3, because you have your ethical paper due week 2 and you have your case presentation due week 3. So make sure you're not just leaving everything for last minute and procrastinating, because the course will move very, very fast, as you know. So week 1 for discussion board is introducing yourself. So please go ahead and introduce yourself, and go ahead and then reply to 2 classmates in regards to their introduction. The replies could be anything from like, oh, we have something in common, to like, oh, hi, nice to have you again in class. I look forward to working and finishing this class or whatnot. But it doesn't have to be too elaborate. Your discussions for the following weeks will be more elaborate, where you will have to look at the rubric for the discussion boards and make sure that if you want full points, you're hitting all the points on the rubric for the discussion boards. Okay, so that is for week 1. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. If I don't respond with an email, make sure that you text me, and I will then look at my email. And just to kind of give you a preview of week 2, these are, the chapters responsible for week 2. I would recommend that you glance at them. Don't focus too much on reading everything, but do skim through them and just kind of capture the main points for each of the chapters. But focus more on the content, the legal and ethical practices for school counselors. So the content for the week. Look at the situation number 2 for your learning activity. Glance at that. But start focusing on your paper and really start thinking about what case or legal or ethical issue you're going to be talking about. You could go ahead and start looking at, you could Google ethical issues or common ethical issues in a K through 12 setting. You could even be more specific and Google high school counselor ethical issues or legal issues that you might want to look at. But start looking at what will be expected for your assignment for week 2. Okay, and this is a paper, not a presentation, and this is due by Sunday midnight week 2. Okay, so as you can tell, all assignments will be due by Sunday midnight week number 2 for this week here. So go ahead and look at the course, explore it, look at the weeks. I've tried to make it as simple and less stressful as possible for you all. If you need any assistance or have any questions, again, feel free to email me. Other than that, please excuse my casual attire today. I am off for the summer, so I will be more casual this summer than I usually am for my recording. So again, welcome to the class. I look forward to working with you all. If you have worked with me, you know how I operate. I'm a very flexible instructor, very understanding. I know situations come up, and I know that we're busy individuals. So if you have any concerns or questions, email me, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I look forward to a great month working with you all, and I will see you all next week. Thank you.